Here's a question that might make you uncomfortable. If you disappeared from your team tomorrow, would your team thrive or would everything fall apart? But here's the thing. The true measure of a great leader isn't how well you perform. It's how well the people you develop perform when you're not around. Hey friends, thanks for joining today on Leading with Bill. I'm Bill Martin and I'm your personal leadership coach. And this is where biblical wisdom can transform your leadership approach. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful leadership principles Jesus demonstrated, developing others. I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different perspective on what success looks like in leadership. So let's start with the hard truth. Most leaders are actually creating followers, not developing other leaders. So this reminds me of an amazing story from Lord of the Rings. Remember those epic movies? So the leader who creates followers is like Sauron. Everything revolves around them, and without them, the whole system crumbles. Great leaders, they're like Gandalf. They develop others to become heroes in their own right. Ah, love those movies. But here's the principle. Developing others is the true success metric of great leaders. Leaders don't just develop followers, they develop other leaders. Here are 3 key areas to do this. First, delegate with development in mind. Don't just hand off tasks, hand off opportunities for growth. When you delegate, ask yourself, how can this challenge stretch them? Second is invest time. Don't just spend time. So there's a huge difference. Spending time is reactive, putting out fires and answering the same question over and over again. But investing time is proactive, teaching someone how to prevent fires and find their own answers. And third, measure their success, not just your own. Your scoreboard should have how many people you've helped level up, not just your own personal achievements. Have you had a leader work with you in any of these 3 ways? If so, share below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're finding value in today's leadership topic, hit like and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. I have an amazing free resource that will make a positive impact on how you lead. You may have heard the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. But if you're developing others to be smarter than you, maybe you're in the right room, and now you're leading like Jesus. So speaking of Jesus, we're going to look at the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 1 through 24. This is the passage of the sending of the 72. This is a masterclass in leadership development. So Jesus had been investing in his 12 disciples, his inner group, but now he does something remarkable. He appoints 72 others and sends them out in pairs to every town and place where he was going to go. Now notice what Jesus does here. He gives them real responsibility, not busy work, not shadow me and watch, but real ministry and real impact. He's essentially saying, you're ready to represent me. Now he provides clear instruction, but trust their judgment. He tells them what to do, but not exactly how to do every detail. He gives them the framework and trusts them to figure out the specifics. He sends them in pairs. This is brilliant. So they can support each other, they can learn from each other, they can hold each other accountable. Jesus understood that development happens best in community. And here's the kicker. When they return, they are amazed at what they accomplished. So Luke 10, verse 17 says, they came back with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. Now Jesus had developed them to the point where they could go do things they never thought possible. That's what great leaders do. They help people discover capabilities they didn't know they had. Now I know what you're probably thinking. As a leader, I'm not Jesus, and I don't have his miracle working powers. Trust me, if I could send a lightning bolt over there to Jimmy to get him to walk on water, I would zap him with some project management skills. Am I right? I'm not suggesting that you work miracles for your team, but how do we apply this in our modern leadership context? Let's explore this. So first, create stretch assignments. Don't just give people tasks within their comfort zone. Give them projects that require them to grow. Like Jesus sending the 72, give them something that feels a little scary, but is totally achievable with some effort. Second is pair people together strategically. Jesus sent them in pairs for a reason. So create partnerships where people can learn from each other. Maybe pair your experienced team member with a newer team member. Pair your detail-oriented person with your big picture thinker. Third, celebrate their wins publicly. When the 72 returned, Jesus didn't take credit. He celebrated their success. Make sure when your people succeed that everyone knows it was their success, not yours. And fourth, debrief and learn together. Jesus used their return as a teaching moment. After every project or assignment, sit down and ask, what went well? What would you do differently? And what did you learn about yourself? Let me share a story from my experience. I had a team member, and for anonymity, let's call her Sarah. Now, Sarah was incredibly talented, but never had led a project. She was always reliable, getting all the work done behind the scenes, but never the leader. Now, we had a major employee engagement initiative coming up, and instead of leading it myself, I asked Sarah, hey, would you like to take point? I could see the hesitation in her eyes, but I could also see some excitement. Now, I didn't just throw her in the deep end. I paired her with one of our senior managers as a mentor, gave her clear objectives, but I'd let her design the approach. We scheduled weekly check-ins where I asked questions instead of giving answers. The result? She absolutely crushed it. The initiative was more successful than anything I could have done alone, mainly because she brought fresh perspective and energy. Now, Sarah went on to become a leader herself. She focused on developing others. That's the multiplication effect of developing leaders. It doesn't just impact one person. It creates a ripple effect throughout your entire organization. Now, your challenge. Identify one person on your team who's ready for a stretch assignment and ask yourself these three questions. First, what's a project or responsibility that would really challenge them, but also be achievable? Second, who could you pair them up with to provide support and learning? And third, how would you measure and celebrate their growth, not just the outcome? Then, have that conversation. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The goal isn't to create people who depend on you. The goal is to create people who can succeed without you. That's when you know you're truly leading like Jesus. Now, if you want to dive deeper into your leadership development, I've created a free values-based leadership assessment. Our values are personal and core to who we are and how we live. Identifying and understanding our values is a foundation as we discover that we are made on purpose and for a purpose. So just click in the link in the description below for this free resource. I'd love to share it with you. Friends, I'm thankful for you and that you took time to join in today on Leading with Bill. Remember, trust the Lord with all your heart. We'll see you next time.